back. Hey, all of you Prius owners, I think you've just been punked because in North Carolina, no matter how many miles you're getting a gallon, you're still going to have to pay big time. In tonight's Biz Blitz, I think all of you hybrid fans have been kicked to the curb. You hear about this? At least in North Carolina, it's the latest state now considering charging drivers by the mile. They're not looking at raising the gas tax. They're looking at instituting a driving tax. So the more you drive, the more you pay. Now, leaving aside how they police this, can you believe this? The whole point of buying these gas-saving vehicles was to avoid the pain at the pump. Well, good luck with that. All right, DeMonica Maida, Robert Luna, and Lizzie McDonald on what they make of this. Lizzie, environmentalists, they've got to be in a tizzy on this.
Yeah, they've got to be in a tizzy. And you know what's obnoxious about this whole thing? And I'm sorry to use that word because I know it's a harsh word. The rationale for
I can think of harsher.
Okay. The rationale from these state legislators in North Carolina say, you know what? Driving is just like a utility. It's just like you're picking up your garbage or you're, getting water. Driving is not like a utility. What about the poor people who can't afford to live in the city in North Carolina and have to live outside the city and now would have to pay by the mile to drive into work? I mean, I just think it's really unfair to the poor people there.
What do you think, Monica?
North Carolina does not have a negligible gas tax to begin with. I think it's 37.5 cents, and that's probably fifth or sixth in the country, just behind places like New York, Connecticut, California, where the cost of living is much, much higher. So my question is, where is the money going? And every time they keep asking for more, how do we know that they're even going to appropriate it the way it needs to be appropriated?
Well, you raise a very important point. It's a point we've tried to raise here a lot, Robert. If we need this for infrastructure, whatever they're talking about in North Carolina or any of these other states, they're talking about the same idea. Show me what you've done with the collectively in states and across the country. We've spent billions on because, as far as I could tell, you get better than $100 billion a year to cover this sort of stuff, from everything from gas taxes at the state and federal level, highway tolls, bridge fees, and the rest. Just to come in out of Manhattan costs $500 each way. Did you know that? Close. But I mean, what the heck? Where's that money gone, right?
Yeah, well, I think that if North Carolina is looking to raise revenue, Neil, in my opinion, what they should do is create more jobs, which is something they've been doing. It was just the other day, the narrative of my conversation was they must be doing something good because all these big financial institutions are creating jobs over there right now. And a lot of that reason is there's an educated workforce over there, lower cost of living, like was just mentioned. But smart people eventually catch on to things like that, and they're not looking to pay higher taxes. We just had the highest tax increase in history. We're getting the bill that's going to be due here in a couple of weeks for that. There's a shortage of people, including myself, Neil, that are feeling like we need to pay more taxes right now.
Well,
continue to
even
create
it's
jobs
justified, and even I'm going to take
aside.
the leap that this is a good idea, which I don't think it is, by the way, Lizzie. The bottom line is prove that you're going to put in a lockbox for roads and bridges or whatever.
Where is the lockbox for higher gas tax or any higher taxation across the country? And, I would argue that the cost of the bureaucrats needed to be hired to track the per mile tax at North Carolina would wipe out any tax revenues it would have to bring in.
How are they doing that, Monica? How are they doing that?
I don't know. The perverse thing about all of this is that every single dollar that a politician's not willing to cut is how they justify their job. And it's just wrong. You can't get anyone to make the right decisions.
And Robert, this is going to be a lot of money. They're going to get a lot of money off this if it ever comes to pass. The devil is what they do with it, right?
Well, we know what they're going to do with it, Neil, and it's nothing that's going to be anything that's going to benefit the people there that are going to work and that are driving on those roads. It's going to be just like Monica was saying. It's going to be the politicians that are getting their pockets lined.
I just love that act with these people with the plug-in cars. They're going to pay through the nose. Anyway, Nancy Pelosi seems to know what Ben Franklin would want. Now, just because the former speaker was there to see him fly that kite in a storm, that does not mean that the health care law would fly with any of our founding fathers. Ben Franklin, after this.